Computer. Hi everybody, my name's Priscilla and this is the Gemini new moon reading. It's a live reading today, so we might have some people joining us. This new moon is actually quite a doozy. They're calling it a super moon, but even though we can't see it, apparently it's at one of the closest orbits to the planets. So if you're sensitive to planetary energy, then you are likely to be really feeling this. And I know personally, even since the last full moon, I've been heavily affected in terms of feeling less than clear, and just like everything that I'm supposed to deal with in a technology perspective has been very challenging. So thankfully we're moving into Gemini, and Gemini is about communication and technology and everything, which is great. So hopefully things will start to get clear, and I'll be more capable of sort of stepping up and connecting with my communication and being more clear-headed, because it has not been a particularly clear-headed time. I found it quite challenging to get heavily into work issues. So and of course the new moon is also the time around where we're able to set intentions for making the most of this new cycle. And they talk about there's two ways of using the new moon, which I've talked about in previous videos, but in particular the two ways that work is that you've got this particular new moon that starts today, and we've got 2 weeks to make the most of the time for our intentions to come to fruition at the time of the next full moon, which would be an ending time as opposed to a creation time. But they also talk about looking at the entire 6-month process of setting an intention on a new moon, and in this particular case it's going to be Gemini, and then looking to the fullness, or the culminating of your intentions coming to full fruition at the full moon in Gemini, which will be 6 months' time. So looking at the Gemini energy, what is coming through that I've been hearing about is they talk about Gemini being the twins, and with the twins it's actually very much a case of look at two sides of the coin. There's always, someone said, looking at sort of like the dark side of someone's looking at someone's dark side, that there's two-faced people. But I actually like to see it more of a case of looking at two sides of a coin. You've always got two sides to a story. There's your perspective and the other person's, and we always need to take that other person's into consideration and possibly have more compassion for where they're at than what we probably want to at that given moment. So it's a wise time to think carefully about when you're connecting with other people, or any situation. Look at both sides of any story that comes across your awareness. So I'm going to move on and draw a card, and let's see what comes through for us today. I'll just see which card drops out of the deck. Okay, here we go. This is an interesting one. Past lives. Yeah, very curious imagery here. What we're also seeing here, and I apologise for background noise, I am in a very suburban area, so that's what you get for a live reading. There's almost like you can see the two lizards. We've got a twin lizard situation. That's kind of cool. But what I really love about this imagery, and when it talks about past lives, is that we've got our present situation that we're living with right now, and how we may have dealt with things in the past. And this is a really good opportunity to go, well, what we dealt with in the past, is that still actually truly relevant to how we are in this given moment? So I'm actually getting from this particular card a really good opportunity for us over the next couple of weeks to sit with stories that we believe from the past and go, are they still really relevant to who we are today? Because we're living in very different times, and we're living literally what a lot of people are terming as the paradigm shift, because that's what I would term it as well. I keep hearing about the Schumann resonance like spiking and peaking through the roof in ways that it's never spiked before. For all the time that they've been recording it, it's always measured at the same amount, and that was somewhere in the 7 point something whatever resonance, and apparently it's spiking up into the double digits, so probably even into the triple digits, which is shocking a lot of people. And they're saying, oh, it's not real, but something's going on. There's a lot of change. So what I'm getting with this particular card is we're actually being asked to step into a new way of living, and to constantly draw on our past life and say, well, this is the only way. It isn't. It's actually, we have to be very aware of a new way of functioning. And there are actions and experiences that we may have had through our past lives, as in the life before today. And there may have been some experiences that give us very real, very relevant ways of handling something, but they're not necessarily as relevant as they used to be. So it's a really good opportunity now for us to take a good look at what doesn't serve us. So this comes up constantly in all my readings. Where are we today as opposed to where we were last week, a month ago, a year ago, 15 years ago? You know, what serves us today, and truly what's going to work for us today. So I'm getting with this particular card that it's looking at the twins. It's so cute seeing two lizards on this Gemini new moon, and recognizing that there's two ways of handling things. There's the old way that feels safe but sometimes doesn't serve us, and sometimes it does. And then there's a new way, which can be scary, but it's worth actually having a look at a new way and trusting that maybe you are able to make change in ways that you probably didn't think you could from the past. We've got so much new stuff coming through, and if we don't accept those new ways coming through and we get stuck in the past, it's just going to be more painful for any other changes that come through. And that's what I think that we are being most asked to acknowledge, that lots of changes are coming through, and it's very challenging for us at this point in time. So I'm going to now just take you off mute, Tara. Do you have any? I'll just take you off mute, and then you can let me know if you have any questions. There you go. So any feedback, Tara, for what's going on for you, and anything relevant that you feel is...
Listen, you may think you're doing this for the collective and for everyone, but you're really doing it for me.
Oh, bless you. Thank you for joining us. That's excellent. I love how that works.
Yes, it's the message is perfect, and your interpretation of it is really spot on for me for where I am right now.
Oh,
and,
wonderful.
I'm a Gemini sun.
Wow.
So
okay. Mm-hmm.
This is my moon.
Yep, it is, baby, all the way.
And a big time of transition, and some work that I'm involved in at the moment is actually writing through that story from the past, and it's good that you say be questioning if the story is relevant today, because the bit where I'm stuck with it a bit is about, well, writing not a new ending, but writing maybe the next chapter.
Yeah.
So this is all. Thank you. I know I don't have my video on, so you can't see me bowing to you, but thank you.
Oh no, that's all fine. I'm just really glad that there's a resonance with it, which is brilliant.
Yeah, and I always I take notes whenever I watch your videos or participate in the live ones, and yeah, getting stuck in the past is going to be painful is something I needed to hear. So thank you.
Oh, good. Oh, I'm glad that's worked for you. That's excellent. So, okay then.
Osho cards again? Those are the cards that you use, yeah?
These are the Osho cards. Yes,
is what this is again?
Yes, they are. I love them. I think they're extraordinary as a deck. I just love the colourfulness of them, and just the imagery. They're so blunt and quite in your face, and you've really got to get past the bluntness of the message, because they're not pretty. Some of them they can be quite harsh and confronting, but I love that. You know, I really love that, and that's I think that's a really powerful thing that I like about the cards, is that the imagery just is so stark sometimes, and it's tells you straight away what the message is. You know, you can't really hide it. I remember I can't tell you how many times I've pulled a card and cried. It's really ugly and scary. And then when I've sat with it long enough, I've actually realised just how pertinent the message is, and that it's not half as scary. I just was afraid of how I was feeling when I saw the image, you know, and that's what I love about them. So Wonderful. Well, that's really cool. Thank you so much for joining us, Cara. I don't think it's going to go. Oh, Tara. God, here we go. I apologise. I'll blame the new moon. It's too much crazy energy going on. I also have a friend called Cara here on Maui, so I'm obviously feeling for her as well. So maybe she's listening. Yes, I'm on Maui. I am. I was going to pull the card down. Yes, I'm on Maui. So yeah. So look, thank you very much, everybody, for who's listening and watching the video. And for any questions, if you would like to make any comments on the website, you're welcome to. And yeah, feedback is great. I'm not sure if you can do that on my website. Maybe I should change that so you can comment. You can send me messages if you want to directly on the website. It's priscillahold.org. So I'm going to finish this up and say thank you very much, everybody. Until the next new moon, I will see you all again soon. Bye. Thank you, Tara. Appreciate you joining us.